Good morning and Jai Hind, dear students. Today I am here with the topic ecosystem, which is a very important topic that we should know, because ecosystem, you must know here. See, this ecosystem word or the term is being given by Sir A.G. Tansley in 1935. What is this ecosystem mean? First of all, you should understand this is what ecology. Ecology. No, this term is being made by what? So this is the icos and logos. Logos is the study. Logos means the study. Icos means our surrounding. So study of our surrounding is called ecology. And in this surrounding, what you will say, this is surrounding. So in this surrounding, you'll find that this word is also, you can say, the place, or you can also say habitat in which we live is called ecosystem. And in this ecosystem, actually it is the interaction of biotic and abiotic components of any particular area where we live. And we derive each and every requirements from that particular habitat or surrounding. So this is the ecosystem. I am coming here a particular topic of this ecosystem, and that is what? Productivity today. Okay. In this productivity, you will find what is productivity. So you know that this ecosystem, if I'll take the biotic component of ecosystem, biotic component, then you'll find in this biotic component there is producer, there is producers, then consumers, and the last decomposers. These are the three which constitute biotic component of the ecosystem. And abiotic components comprises physical or environment, you can say the geographical components like air, water, soil, temperature, pH of the soil, whatever, minerals. So these all are. These all. And this is the producer. And the chief source of energy to run this all is the sun. So you see, this productivity, the constant input of solar energy is the basic requirement for any ecosystem to function and sustain. Energy is very important thing to make any systems to sustain or run. So likewise, this is the solar energy which is being taken by the producers, because producers have chlorophyll pigments, and by that pigment they trap solar energy and they convert this solar energy in the form of chemical energy. Definition of photosynthesis is what? It is the process of conversion of solar energy in the form of chemical energy or organic form by the help of producers, since they are having chlorophyll pigments. So this is the way by which they synthesize food. They store food in the form of carbon containing molecule, that is the glucose, and finally they store in the form of starch. So there from the energy comes in the living system. From non-living system, sun, then energy enters into the living system by the help of producer. Now, what is primary productivity? So it is the amount of biomass or organic matter produced per unit area over a time period by the producer during photosynthesis. During photosynthesis, plant produces food, and in that whatever the food they produce, so there are some amount of the energy obtained from that very food is utilized to carry on the life processes during metabolism. And you know that the physiological process that give energy is the respiration. By respiration only the glucose oxidized to release energy in the form of ATP, and this is being utilized to carry on all the kinds of biochemical reactions, that is metabolic reactions inside the cell. So whatever the energy is being utilized, that is called respiratory loss. Though the loss is nothing as per the law of thermodynamics. The first law is saying that energy can neither be created nor be lost. But one form of energy is being transform or utilize into the another form. So likewise here also, we say respiratory loss R, but actually this is the energy produced during respiration by oxidation of the food is utilized in metabolism. So whatever the amount of biomass, because you know that day by day we grow, and during growing our biomass increase. So this increase the biomass is because of the formation of new organic matter in our body. Okay, so formation of new biomass or organic matter produced per unit area. That is why it is called rate of formation of biomass per unit area over a time period by the producers during photosynthesis is known as primary productivity. It may also can say gross primary productivity, the total biomass production. That is the gross primary productivity. So gross primary productivity of an ecosystem, GPP of an ecosystem, is the rate of biomass production of organic matter during photosynthesis. That is why this is the rate, and for this rate only it is written here per unit area per unit time. So you can express this GPP or primary productivity in two forms. Either you can express in the form of biomass, which is taken here as a gram per meter square. How much gram of biomass is being increased or being synthesized per unit area, this is meter square, and per unit time, per annum. Here power minus 1 means per annum, and meter square is what? Per meter square. So if you are just trying to measure the biomass productions by the producer in 1 unit square meter area in per unit time. So here per annum per meter square in gram, that is the biomass. And in another way you can measure this in the form of energy also. So in this way you can measure here, this is the kilocalorie per meter square per annum, like this. This way we can express this productivity. Now you see, this is the net primary productivity. So you know that suppose your income is 50,000 per annum, per month. So 50,000 rupees if you are earning per month, then you can't save whole money in your bank. How can you survive? So if your gross income is 50,000, that is GPP, but the expenditure of your family or your own personal expenditure, if suppose it is 40,000, so only 10,000 rupees what is remain is the net, and that money only you can save for your future. So that 40,000 what you have expended is the respiratory loss. So GPP minus respiratory loss is equal to NPP. The same way here also, you see the considerable amount of GPP is utilized by the plants for respiration or for metabolism or for carry on all the kinds of life processes. Whatever the amount of energy is being utilized is called respiratory loss. So GPP, gross primary productivity minus respiratory loss, is the net primary productivity. And suppose you have saved 10,000 rupees out of 50,000, the 40,000 you have expended, 10,000 rupees is your saving. And if someone will come to thieve you, कोई चोर आया आपके घर में, तो what he will take away from you? Whatever you saving. So likewise, if any producer is there and if this producer is being eaten by any consumer, like herbivores suppose, so herbivores will consume from the organic consume from the producer. What amount will be transferred from producer to herbivores? The net primary productivity, because that some amount is being utilized by the plants for its own metabolism. So whatever is being utilized cannot be transferred. So whatever is being stored inside the body, that only will be transferred. So net primary productivity is the available biomass for the consumptions to heterotrophs. Producers are the autotrophs. So whatever the food they prepared, out of that whatever they utilized is being over no more. So what is being stored in their body is the available biomass for the consumption to heterotrophs, that is the consumers. Okay, so that will transfer to the next trophic level. Likewise this process continue. Now suppose the organisms herbivores, whatever the amount is taken from the producers. So now when the herbivores will be eaten by any carnivores, so whatever the amount of energy या biomass will be stored inside the body of herbivores, will be available biomass to do consumptions by the carnivores. Okay, so this is the way process going on. Therefore, secondary productivity is the rate of formation of new organic matter by consumers. अगर कोई चोर आपका सामान, अगर आपका पैसा चोरी करके ले गया, तो वो पैसा जो आपका चुराया उससे वो अपना डेवलपमेंट करेगा या अपनी बॉडी की ज़रूरतों को पूरी करेगा. दैट 10,000 रुपीज़ इज़ द अवेलेबल बायोमास, है ना, फॉर द दैट थीव to develop himself. Likewise, the amount of this NPP is only available biomass, no, for the consumers, for the formation of new organic matter, because that herbivores or the consumers is not synthesizing any food by himself or itself. Reason that it is not producers. So the net primary productivity which is being transferred from producer to consumers, that will be the available biomass by the consumers for the formation of new organic matter, and that is called secondary productivity. No? And primary productivity or the grass primary productivity, the total biomass production, no, by the green plants, by the producers per unit area, per unit time, no? Which you can express in the terms of biomass or in the form of energy. Okay, so this is the way. Now I am coming to the food chain. See, food chain. In this food chain you will find that I told that this is the plant. This is the plant. What you can also say producers. These are the producers. So these producers are being consumed by primary consumer. Primary consumer, which can be eaten by secondary consumer. Secondary consumers, it can be also eaten by tertiary consumer. Tertiary consumer, and likewise. Okay, so if I'll take the example here, the plants. So this plant is eaten by, suppose, deer, and deer is eaten by lion. Or you can take the example, this is the plant. Plants is eaten by, suppose, grasshopper. Grasshopper eaten by frog. Frog eaten by snake. Snake eaten by peacock. So likewise, this chain is there. So you know that what is being transferred from plants to grasshopper, that is the food, and this food is the source of energy to the grasshopper. If frog is eating grasshopper, then frog get energy from grasshopper in terms of food, in the form of food. So there is the transfer of energy from one to another, and that is in the form of food. Each and every organism in this ecosystem are interacting with each other, and this interaction is very essential to survive. That is why biodiversity conservation is a matter of concern. If this biodiversity will be lost day by day, a time will be coming, then our life will be also become vulnerable and it may be endangered also. Reason that we are directly or indirectly depending upon the other organism, and directly or indirectly depending upon the plants, everyone depending upon the producers. Okay, so in order to get this energy to survive, these organisms also needs to be there in your surrounding, otherwise where from you will get food. So this connection, this link, where these organisms are being connected for the transfer of food, this is called food chain. In other way I can define you that the organism, the chain of organism, which are interconnected in such a way that they shows the transfer of energy in the form of food, in which it shows that who is eating whom and who is eaten by whom. Who is eating whom and eaten by whom. This type of the chain is called food chain. Okay, food chain. is the sequence of arrangement of organism. Is the sequence of arrangement of organism in any ecosystem, which shows that who eats whom and eaten by whom is called food chain. Or in other way you can say that the sequence of organism which shows the transformation of energy, transfer of energy in the form of food is called food chain. Okay, and one more term is there, that is called food wave. Food wave. And what is this food wave? You know that if any ecosystem is having rich biodiversity, so there are several organisms present in that ecosystem where there is so many organisms are available to consume. That is why several food chain run simultaneously. Several food chain run simultaneously. And these several food chains are interconnected at some level. And hence these food chains are, when interconnecting, they form the network of food chain. And this network of food chain is called food wave. And the food wave is better for any ecosystems to be rich. To be rich or to be more sustainable. Because in that food wave, one organism can be eaten by more than one organism. And one organism can also eat more than one organism. So how does it possible when there is the availability of so many organisms in the ecosystem? Like you, if your mother will be giving you the same kinds of vegetables, same kinds of food every day, though it is very tasty and you like also very much, but how many days you will eat the same? You feel boring. Not only boring, but it is not good for your health also. Reason? That by eating the same thing, the one particular kinds of the nutrients, whether it is mineral, whether it is vitamins, whether it is a particular kinds of amino acids. Suppose you are eating only one kind of dal every day, so only few kinds of the amino acid you will be getting. That is why you are suggested to eat mixed dal, mixed pulses, mixed vegetables, varieties of fruits. Because if you will take anything only every day, then that availability becomes too much in your body. So that will be excess. And the part what you are not taking, that's deficiency will be there. And you know that both is harmful for your health. If anything become more than normal, or if there is anyone less than normal, in both situations our body suffer. That is why we are suggested to take balanced diet, in which each and every kinds of the mineral nutrients, each and every kinds of the component of the food is required to be taken in the balanced form. So food wave is very good. Reason that someday you are eating something, someday another day you are getting another thing. So your taste will be also better, and it is very important for your health. Okay. So healthy ecosystem have varieties of organism and making food wave. Like if I can give example, very simple example I am taking you, the plant. This is a plant. Okay. And this plant, suppose the plant is having leaf, plant have leaf, and plant have seed also. Okay. This seed is eaten by a sparrow bird. Sparrow. And this leaf is eaten by, suppose, any insect. And this insect is eaten by sparrow bird. See, this is sparrow is the part of this food chain as well as this food chain. Here this plant is at the first trophic level. Sparrow is at the second trophic level, and this is insect at second trophic level, but in this way the sparrow will be coming at the third trophic level. The same organism sparrow is in this food chain is herbivore, because it is taking directly the plant seed, but in this food chain this sparrow become carnivore because it is eating insects. So there are some organisms who are omnivore, who can take both, who can directly take the producers, or they are able to take the consumers also. They are omnivores. But there are some who are purely carnivores, like lion. Okay, so you are seeing this is sparrow is human is omnivores. Human, crow, many more. They are dog, they are omnivores. They can take both. So food wave, is it clear? You can take some other examples which are very much complicated food chains are there. Very simple one I have given you. Okay. So one more thing I want to give you here, the trophic level. Trophic level. Now what is trophic level? So you know these are the steps. These are the steps. This is the first step, second one, third, fourth, and this is fifth. In this one you see this is the first trophic level, second, and this is the third. So some food chains are having very less number of organisms, no, only 2 trophic level or only 3 trophic level, and in some it may be 4 to 5 trophic level also. Okay, so these are the steps through which the energy transfer take place in a food chain. The steps through which energy transfer take place in the form of food is called trophic level. Okay, so this is all, and if you will be seeing the energy flow in these trophic level, how the energy flow is there. So